Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So today we are continuing on my series I have going on where I go back and look at my past purchases from different months. We are at the end of April, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. All my past purchases from the months of April at Ulta, Sephora, and then other purchases from 2020 and 2021. I hope you're enjoying this series on my channel. I'm having so much fun filming them and doing the research for you guys, so I hope you're enjoying watching them as well. Before we get started, don't forget I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday for you guys. If you like this video while you're watching it, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. It really does help me out. And other than that, if you're excited and you want to hear about my past purchases from the months of April in past years, then let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I scooted over because some of them I don't have anymore, so I'm gonna have to pop up pictures. Let's start with Ulta this time around. I feel like every other time so far I've started with Sephora. So let's start with Ulta. I cannot see 2018 for some reason, but in 2019, in the month of April, I got the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Setting Spray. I actually went through multiple of these, like 4 or 5 or something like that. I really genuinely like this setting spray. I don't currently have it in my collection right now, but I definitely would not be opposed to buying it in the future. It's a great just staple setting spray, and it's like $5.99 or something like that. It's just good, melts your makeup together, it makes it last longer. I also got the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. This is not the specific one that I bought back in 2019. I used that one up. This was one that got sent to me in PR by Cover FX a couple months ago. This is just a good setting powder. It sets your makeup nicely. It's not too drying. It's just a good go-to setting powder, if that makes sense. That was all for 2019. Now in 2020, it was the 21 Days of Beauty. So not only was it the 21 Days of Beauty, but obviously in 2020 we were going through a global pandemic, and that was when we were in the thick of it, full shutdown, could not go absolutely anywhere, working from home, all of the above. So I kind of went a little crazy and I bought a lot. So the first thing I bought was the Tarte Lip Sip Vegan Lip Oil Lip Gloss. I love this lip gloss. It was half off during the sale. This is in the shade Fresh Pressed. It is the most lip glossiest lip gloss ever in the best way possible. Any lines or imperfections or chappedness or anything like that on your lips that you have going on, this baby will just cover it right up, and it is so glossy and juicy, and it smells like a push pop from your childhood. Oh, it's so fruity and yummy. I love this gloss. I also got, I didn't grab it. Okay, well, I'll just pop up a picture. I forgot to grab it from my bathroom. I also got the e.l.f. Gentle Peeling Exfoliant. This is a really good exfoliator. It's a physical one, so I don't use it very often, but you just put it on dry skin, and you can see the dry skin clumping up and coming off, and then you just wash it off. It's nice and gentle. It is exfoliating without being too harsh. I also bought the Buxom Plumping Lip Cream, and I got the shade White Russian. I've talked about that many times on my channel before. I ended up having to return it because it physically pained my lips. I used it one time and I was in so much pain the one time I used it because of the plumping quality in that lip gloss. I know a lot of people love them, and I hate that I don't love those glosses, but when I put it on and my lips feel like they're going to burn off my face, I cannot use you. Also, during the 21 Days of Beauty last year, these Cover FX monochromatic blush duos were on sale. I had previously purchased Pink Dahlia earlier in 2020 and fell in love with it. I think in January, I fell in love with it. So I ended up picking up Spice Cinnamon. I kind of regret buying this one just because it's pretty deep and dark. I also got Mojave Mauve. This is a really beautiful shade. And then the other one I use the most, other than Pink Dahlia, is this one, which is Soft Peach. I've talked about these a bunch of times on my channel as well. They're a great blush duo. They're pricey. That's why I got all of mine on sale, but you get 2 blushes, a matte and a shimmer side, and they're very pigmented. They last all day long, and I just really like these a lot. Also during the sale, I picked up a Tarte Man-Eater mascara. This is one of my favorite mascaras ever. I have not opened it and used it yet, which is fine because the whole 3 to 6 month rule, it doesn't really apply to mascara until you open it and use it. So I just haven't opened this one yet, but it's a good one. I love it. Like I said, got it half off. I also got the Benefit Gimme Brow. Another one. Haven't used it yet, and I need to just suck it up and use it. I got the shade 4.5. This is a really, well, I don't know, I haven't used it, but people say it's a really good brow gel. It's got a really tiny spoolie that you can just get up in there. I know I have a really strong feeling that when I finally do decide to try this out and use it, I'll love it. MAC was on sale. I don't know if it was during the 21 Days of Beauty or it's just on sale because sometimes it goes on sale at Ulta. So last year in April, I picked up a MAC Studio Fix in the shade NW13. Okay, I was a MAC girl in my early 20s. It's all I wore was MAC, and I used to love that foundation. And I bought it for the first time last year in years. I hadn't used it for a really long time. I hated it. It smelled so strongly, and I know MAC has like a particular smell to it, but it was so strong. And the one time I used it, the scent, I am not kidding you, it lingered all day long. Like hours later, I could still smell it on my face. I ended up returning it. Plus NW13 is one of the lightest shades and it was still too dark on me. So I think I need NW10 if I ever were to try it again, but I don't know if I ever would, honestly. I also picked up their powder foundation, which this is not the one that I picked up because the one I picked up was completely gone. I used it up. You'll see that in an empty is coming up. And then I picked up the BH Cosmetics Smitten in Switzerland palette. Oh, you guys, you've heard me talk about this palette on my channel many times in the past. It is a beautiful palette. I love it so much. I love the formula. I love the shades. I'm not going to harp on it because you've heard me just rave about this a million times. It is so stinking good. Another thing I picked up from Ulta in 2020 was the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hydrating Hyaluronic Acid Primer. I love this primer. Another one I've literally raved about a million times on my channel. Not going to talk about it because if you are not new at all, you know my love for this. And if you are new, hello, my name's Emily. I love this primer so much. So hydrating, so stinking good. And another thing I use all of the time that I picked up was a MAC paint pot. I got the shade Painterly, and if you can tell, like I use the heck out of this eye primer. I use it every single time I do my eye makeup, and it is so good. This was the first paint pot I ever tried. I tried it for the first time back in 2020. I don't know what took me so long. These have been around forever and everyone loves them and has raved about them for so long. And I just never was on the paint pot board. And now I am. I love it. I use it all of the time. And then, oh, another thing I forgot to grab. I grabbed the Ordinary I don't know how to pronounce this. Argiline solution, 10%. I don't know. I really don't use this very much. What it's supposed to be is like Botox in a bottle, and it's supposed to really, really help out with fine lines and wrinkles. I feel like I don't struggle too much with fine lines and wrinkles, but when I bought it, I was using it around my eyes and then a little bit on my forehead. I really don't have I just have really tiny lines, if you can see, and I'm just trying to combat them and stop them from getting worse, if that makes sense. But I used this for a couple weeks and then it was like an extra step in my routine and I was like, oh, this is annoying. So I stopped using it. So maybe I should start using it again. But yeah, that was everything I bought from Ulta in 2020. So far in 2021, I did make some purchases from the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. Some of them were in April. I'm not going to talk about those because I did a haul. So I'll link that video down below in case you want to see that. But I have also made other purchases that weren't part of the 21 Days of Beauty because that's just who I am as a person. I can't stop buying makeup. So the first thing I bought was this Becca lipstick. I ended up getting the shade Taupe. My thought process behind getting this shade was that I wanted a really dark, deep, just brownie shade. I think this is a little bit more maroon than I really wanted it to be, but I think it's gonna still be really pretty. I love the Becca formula. So sad they're going out of business. I think this is my third Becca lipstick. I have two other shades, and the formula is just so creamy and comfortable on your lips and just wears really, really nicely. So I picked that shade up. Also in that order, I got another MAC Studio Fix foundation because I just love this foundation so much. This is brand spanking new. I need to use it because the one I bought last year is completely gone. But yeah, this is my favorite powder foundation ever. I wear the shade N3. I have been wearing this for probably close to a decade. It's not drying, it's full coverage, it covers up everything, it wears so nicely in general and under a mask all day to work. Also in that order, I ordered the Catrice Prime and Fine Aqua Fresh Hydro Primer. I really needed a hydrating primer. I said in my Sephora sale wish list that I was either gonna get the Fenty Beauty one or the Laura Mercier hydrating primer. I didn't get either of those and I got this one instead. I haven't given it a go yet, but I've heard really, really good things about this primer. I've heard it's really nice and hydrating and moisturizing, and that's exactly what I need for a primer. So pumped I got that. Cannot wait to try that. I got the Derma E Scalp Relief Treatment. It's the tea tree oil aloe vera herbal blend. It's supposed to soothe dry, itchy scalp. So also in my Sephora sale wish list video, I talked about the Briogeo Scalp Revival, basically the same thing. And I said I was going to pick it up during the sale. And one of my subscribers commented down below and said, have you tried the Derma E one? It's cheaper and pretty much the same thing. And I looked into both of them and they did seem very, very similar. So I went ahead and picked this one up instead because it was half the price, maybe even less. And this is so good. It's a lot more liquidy than the Briogeo one. And this one gives me like a really minty feeling on my scalp. Like when I put it on, I can feel it and it's really minty. So that's kind of weird, but I don't hate it. I do think it's nice. I've only used a tiny bit of it. Like I literally just started using it, but so far so good. And that's not all, guys. Yeah, I made another purchase too. So the first thing I got was the Hask Chia Seed Volumizing Dry Shampoo. Not Your Mother's decided to discontinue my favorite Holy Grail dry shampoo that I have been using for years. So I need to find a new one, and this was on sale. I've heard good things about Hask. People seem to like their dry shampoo, and this is massive. So I hope I like it, because if not, I'm gonna be using a dry shampoo that I don't like for a while. But I don't know, I haven't given it a go yet. My Not Your Mother's one isn't out quite yet. I have like literally 1, maybe 2 more days. I also picked up some LA Girl liners. Who is she? I like never wear liners, but here's the thing. I really wanted some bright, pretty shades for my waterline, like my lower lash line. So here's swatches for you. I got powder blue, lavender, and sunshine. So I thought that these were just really pretty, and I thought that they would be good companions to eye looks, like maybe more simple eye looks. So I thought they would be really good for in my waterline, just to give like a little extra pop of color. So these were really cheap too. I think they were only a couple dollars, and they might have even been on sale. LA Girl is a very affordable brand. Also in that order, I got the That's Taupe palette, you guys. I wasn't gonna buy this, I wasn't, because it seems very similar to the Natasha Denona Glam palette, which I own and love with my whole heart. But I've just seen so many people loving this palette. It's a palette that I have on my eyes today. I did a really simple look, and I really like how it turned out. This one right here, Python, was so incredibly powdery. I could not get over how powdery it was, but they blended nicely. They didn't get patchy. The shimmers are stunning. So yeah, I picked this up, and I didn't need it, but I'm so glad I got it. Lastly in that order, and I think this is the last thing from Ulta to talk about, I got this blush, and it's really bright. However, I have been on the hunt for a blush to go with my more purpley toned looks, and I am not kidding you. I went through every single solitary blush on Ulta and Sephora looking for a purple tone blush, every single one. And this was the one I settled on. There was one from Sephora, I think the Sephora collection, that I almost got, but I got this one instead. This is from Lorac. It is their buildable blush in the matte formula, and it is the shade Ultraviolet. I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea if I'm gonna like this on my cheeks. It looks very purple. That looks so purple. I'm kind of afraid to try it out, but that's like what I want. I feel like whenever I use a purpley tone eyeshadow, or even like a really light pink tone eyeshadow, I don't know. There's a couple shades in the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde palette that I'm like specifically thinking of that I can never find a good blush to use with it. And yeah, I picked this one up. It's very purple. I'm gonna try it out. If I don't like it, I'll return it. But yeah, that was, I think, everything that I got from Ulta in the past years. So let's move on to Sephora. Alrighty, now Sephora. I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be kind of long, because April is when Sephora does their Sephora VIB sale, and I have definitely participated the last couple of years. So all the way back in 2016, I don't know why I can see that far back on Sephora, but I can. The first thing I picked up was the Beauty Blender Liquid Soap. I've been through a bunch of these. I really like it. I think it's a great soap for cleaning your sponges. It cleans it very nicely. I also got the Fresh Lip Scrub. I ended up not finishing the Fresh one because it went bad. I mean, I had it from 2016. I think I just threw it away like a couple months ago. So it's definitely old, but I enjoyed it when I used it. It was nice and exfoliating, and it scrubbed off all the dead skin from my lips that I needed to whenever it was chapped or anything, without being like too abrasive and hurting. I also got the Becca color corrector in the shade Peach. Color correcting was really big back in 2016. I ended up also picking up the green one from them. I don't remember why I picked up the peach one, like what I was trying to correct with that. And I don't really remember ever using it. So 2017, I ended up picking up the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Hydra Firm Cream. Again, I talked about this in I think my last month's one, my March one, because it was just one of my favorite night creams back then a couple years ago. Loved it, went through a bunch of them. It's great. It's nice and moisturizing and hydrating. 2018, I picked up the Kiehl's Candula Deep Clean Cleanser. I got really into Kiehl's for some reason back in 2018. I'm not sure why. I bought a bunch of stuff from them. I remember liking this cleanser. I don't think it really like was revolutionary or crazy. I didn't repurchase it after I used it, but I remember liking it. I also picked up the Kiehl's Silk Groom Serum. This was for my hair. I think I picked this up before I discovered, no, 2018, I think I already was using my Verb Ghost Oil at that time. And I picked this up just as like a replacement for my Verb Ghost Oil. And I didn't like it as much. I've repurchased my Ghost Oil many times and I only used this one once. It was nice. It made my hair like soft and shiny, but it wasn't anything special. I also got their Rare Earth Deep Pore Mask. I don't know why I picked this up. I'm like not a mask girl. I never remember to do them. I still have this actually, so it's like 3 years old. I should probably get rid of it. But I mean, the couple of times I used it, it was nice. It was just like a pore, like charcoal kind of mask that's supposed to detoxify, get all the gunk out of your face. I think I enjoyed it. I remember it not being too drying, but I don't think I used it enough to really have too much of an opinion on it, unfortunately. I also picked up the Fenty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer and then their Fenty Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation. I think this was when it like kind of had recently launched and I remember loving that primer and foundation combination. I used it all of the time. It was nice and matte, which at the time I had really oily skin a couple years ago. It was full coverage and wore beautifully on me. Maybe I decluttered them earlier this year. I remember they were almost like 3 years old when I decluttered them. And I remember I used them and I was like, you know, I don't think these are as good anymore. I think that the formula is changing because they are so old. So I didn't finish either one of them up, but I remember when I actually used them, I loved that combination. I don't know if I would now because it's more matte and I'm more dry, but that was all for 2018. In 2019, I picked up the Bite Beauty Weekly Lip Scrub. That is the lip scrub that I am currently using. It's 2 years old, so I definitely need to use it up, but I really like it. I like it more than the fresh one that I bought a couple years prior. And this one is just very nice. It's lovely. It's a lot more like liquidy of a formula than the fresh one. And I just think it's more soft and gentle on your lips and I really enjoy using it. I also picked up the Sol de Janeiro Brazilian Foreplay Shower Gel. I like this shower gel. It's not anything crazy. I don't think it's anything super moisturizing, but it smells good and it makes me feel clean. I also picked up the Sol de Janeiro Brazilian Bod Buff. This is not made anymore. They made a new like body scrub that they launched, I think like last year. I liked this. However, it got everywhere in my shower. I'm not kidding you. I would like put it on and scrub it in my, body like a normal body buff, and it would get all the gunk out of my skin. It would make me feel nice and soft and all that, but it would just get everywhere in my shower. And then it did not matter how much I tried to scrub it off my body. Whenever I got out of the shower, it was still like on my towel. The orange residue of it would just like get on my towel. So it kind of drove me crazy, but it doesn't matter because they don't make it anymore. I also got the Benefit Cheek Leader Trio. I love this thing. It's 2 years old now. I didn't realize that, but this was a hot commodity when it came out a couple years ago. So it has the Hula Bronzer, the Cookie Highlight, and then the Gold Rush Blush. This was when they introduced the Cookie Highlight and everyone went wild over it in this trio. And then now they obviously sell it as a single. As you can tell, it is a well-loved palette. I've used it many times and I'm going to continue using it. I think it is a great palette. I love this little guy so much. I also got the ABH Dip Brow Gel. I don't like that brow gel at all. The spoolie on it was way too big and it was so incredibly pigmented that it got just everywhere in my brows. It made a hot flaming mess every time I would use it in my brows. And I tried so hard to make it work and I just did not enjoy it. Don't recommend it to you guys. Will never buy it again. I also picked up a Drunk Elephant Mini Virgin Marula Oil. I just finished this a couple months ago. I don't think it's anything special. I've kind of touched on this in past videos on my channel. I don't really choose to support Drunk Elephant anymore. I think that their customer service is pretty terrible and I just don't think that a brand that is that expensive should be treating their customers poorly when they're shelling out a lot of money to support you and your brand. So I used it up because it was expensive. It was the mini, but it was still like $40 something. It's just an oil. I don't think it was anything revolutionary. I also got the Supergoop Acai Fusion Lip Balm in the Kula Lip Luxe SPF 30. So Mike and I were going on a trip back in 2019 to Orange Beach, Alabama for my spring break. And I just really wanted to get some SPF lip balm so I could protect my lips when we were at the beach. Neither one of these are available anymore. I don't understand why, but I still have both of them. I'm still going to use them this summer when we're out at the pool and stuff. I also picked up a Drunk Elephant Bee Hydra Serum. I went through, I think just one of these actually. I liked it. Again, I don't think it was anything revolutionary. And I also got a Drunk Elephant Slay Makeup Melting Butter. I actually really did enjoy this melting butter. It did get rid of my makeup. It was nice. It was pretty thick and oily, but I didn't mind it because it washed off easily. But I mean, I don't need to buy it. There's a million other makeup melting cleansers that you can buy and not support Drunk Elephant. So in 2020, moving on, again, it was a Sephora sale. So I kind of got a lot. So the first thing I bought was my Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette. Chef's Kiss. I love this palette. I've talked about it a billion times on my channel. It is stunning and gorgeous and beautiful, and it's one of my favorites. I love it so much. I also got the Ole Henriksen Glow 2.0 Dark Spot Toner. I ended up picking up a mini of this, and I am really glad I got a mini. It was such a strong scent. I remember when I used it, it was so strong, like sweet, like sickly sweet scent. And I also don't think it did anything to my skin. Granted, I had a mini of it, so maybe you need to have a full size for you to really notice any results, but I didn't love that, and I ended up not repurchasing it. What's going on here? I ended up not repurchasing it. I also got the Youth to the People Adaptogen Cream. My friend Esty on here raves about that cream. She says it's like one of her favorites. And I bought it based off her recommendation, and it was pretty lovely. I'm not gonna lie, I used up the whole thing. I used it as my nighttime skincare, like my nighttime moisturizer, and it was nice and hydrating and moisturizing and felt really lovely on the skin. I think I would repurchase that in the future. I also got the Indie Lee Discovery Kit. I really liked this. I tried 3 of their products, and I ended up really liking all of them. I really like the cleanser. I haven't repurchased it yet, but I did enjoy it. And then I actually just repurchased their toner during the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. It was half off. And then I forget what the other thing was that I tried from them, but I liked it. I used up all 3 of them. I also picked up the Ordinary AHA 30% plus BHA 2% peeling mask. This is the one where you drop it on your face and it looks like blood and all of that. It's another one I haven't tried yet. I know it's been sitting in my collection for a year and I haven't tried it, but it's unopened, so I'm fine with it. You know what I mean? I will eventually try it. I will. I don't know when. I also got the Huda Beauty Easy Bake. What is this? This is such a long name. Easy Bake Loose Baking Setting Powder in the shade Cupcake. I like this. I'm going to use it up. It's got the very strong Huda scent, but it sets my face nicely. It can be a little drying, so once I use it up, I'm not going to repurchase it, but I got a lot to use up. I didn't realize that. Wait, this is like almost full. What the heck? Okay, well that's kind of nice because it's like a good deal because I've used this a bunch of times. I think maybe because it has this sifter on it, so not a lot of product comes out at once, so you're not wasting it. So that's nice. I'll use this up, but I'm not going to repurchase it. I also ended up getting the Dry Bar Triple Sec 3-in-1 Finishing Spray. I talked about this in my How I Curl My Hair tutorial. I can link that down below if you missed it. You probably did because that video kind of tanked a little bit, not gonna lie, which I don't understand because it was like one of my most requested videos. People have asked me a million times how I curl my hair. So I finally filmed a tutorial and it tanked big time. So if you haven't watched it, I would love for you to check it out, but I talked about this in there. I love this. I love using this as a finishing spray. I just kind of pick up my curls like this and spray it in, and it gives me like a little extra like volume and a little extra something something to my hair, and it smells delicious. This is almost gone, and I definitely can see myself repurchasing this in the future. I also picked up the Living Proof Dry Shampoo. This is a great dry shampoo. I absolutely hate the smell of it. I don't know why I didn't bring it in here. You know why? I think I finished it. Is that why? Is it empty? Anyways, I like this dry shampoo a lot. The scent is awful. It's disgusting. I spray it in my hair and it just like flies up in the air and like suffocates me, and then I'm breathing it in for like 10 minutes straight. I hate that aspect of it, but it's a really good dry shampoo that really does soak up my oil and make my hair feel nice and clean. I also picked up the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronzer in the shade Tantastic. I don't think this is available anymore on Sephora, and I don't know why, because this is something that's been available for as long as I can remember. It's been around for so long. It's pricey. I got it during the sale, so I got 20% off, but I love this bronzer. I think it's great. Then I picked up the Fenty Cream Bronzer in the shade Butter Biscuit. This is a great cream bronzer. I think it's lovely. As you can tell, I have quite a big dip in it. It is such a good one. It's sheer but buildable and just goes on your skin so nicely and wears so nicely. And I picked up a cream blush. I don't love their cream blush formula, I'm not gonna lie. I got the shade Petal Poppin'. I definitely prefer their cream bronzer over their cream blush formula. And I picked up the Tarte Breezy Cream Bronzer in the shade Seychelles. I just got the mini. So I was like really getting into cream bronzers and cream blushes this time last year during the pandemic, and as you can see, I picked up a bunch. I love this one. I think it's so good. It blends in nicely. It wears beautifully on your skin. It's a beautiful tone. It's lovely, and I definitely recommend picking up the mini because you'll like never go through the full size. At least I never would. I picked up the Milk Triple Cush Brow Pen. This was terrible. It was so bad. It's on sale right now at Sephora, and the reviews for it are awful. I think it has like 1.5 stars, and it was so bad I ended up returning it. I had like the 3 prongs, like sort of pen sort of thing that's supposed to help make it look like microbladed and like natural hair strokes, but it literally had like no pigmentation to it and barely showed up and was awful, and I returned it. Then I picked up these mini highlights from Becca. This is in the shade Champagne Pop, and then we also have the shade Vanilla Quartz. I just got this little mini set on sale during the sale, and I really like them. I think they're beautiful. I definitely never really reach for Vanilla Quartz very often, but I do love Champagne Pop. I think it's beautiful. I thought it was going to be a little dark for my skin tone, but it's not. And then the last thing I picked up in from Sephora in 2020 was this gloss set by Fenty. It came with Sweet Mouth and Fenty Glow. Previously to picking up this set, I had just had Fussy, and I loved the formula so much that when they had this set on sale, I snagged it up. This is such a good gloss formula. I love it so much. And I think that was everything I bought in 2020 from Sephora. I'm not going to talk about what I bought in 2021 from Sephora because, again, it was the Sephora VIB sale, and I already went ahead and filmed a Sephora haul. That should be the video up before this one. If you missed it, I will link it down below for you. But I go through everything I bought from Sephora this time around in the sale, so I'm not going, it would be silly for me to like repeat that all, if that makes any sense. So definitely check out that video if you were interested in that. And we have my other purchases, and then we are done. I feel like I've been here for like an hour and I'm like dying. I'm talking so much. These videos always end up being so long. I never realize just how much makeup I actually purchase until I sit down and really go through it. So let's do my other purchases and then we will finally be done. Like I've said in my past videos, I only have my other purchases from 2020 and then now 2021 because I wasn't tracking it anytime before that. And the first purchase I made was from Flower Beauty, and I got 2 of their blush bombs. I got the shade Cinnamon and then the shade Melon. I love these. I definitely wear Cinnamon more often than Melon, but they're both stunning and beautiful. Let me do a little swatch for you guys of the 2 of them. So here we have Cinnamon and then we have Melon. This formula is just so comfortable and blends out so nicely. It doesn't get patchy. It lasts all day long, and I love these. I also picked up 2 Honest Beauty cream blushes. I told you I was on like a cream bronzer and blush kick. I actually ended up decluttering one of them. The one that I kept was Coral Peach. It's just this really basic coral color. I don't love this formula. I feel like it's very thick and kind of sticky and tacky, but this shade is really pretty. The other one I had was a more pinky shade, and actually the one that I had was literally like the same color as my Fenty cream bronzer in the shade Petal Poppin'. They were like the same exact color, so that's why I ended up decluttering the Honest Beauty one because I kept this one. I also picked up the Nude Sticks Bondi Bay bronzer. This was another one I ended up decluttering, sadly. I just didn't love it. It was nice, the formula was fine, but the shade was a little bit warm on me and I really didn't reach for it. Then I made a purchase from Morphe. I got their brush set from someone called Cassie MUA. I don't know who that is, but I ordered her brush set. It's back there. I don't even know which ones came in that set now, a year later, because they're all just in a cup back there combined. But I mean, I love Morphe brushes. I use them all the time. I also made an e.l.f. order, and in that order, I picked up 2 of my e.l.f. stipple brushes. I use this for cream bronzer and cream blush. I love this brush so much. It's only $10, and it is beautiful. I like stippling on cream products. Also in the order, I got their Sheer Slick lipstick in the shade Orange Crush. This is a very bright lipstick, as I literally have like the brightest lipstick on ever on my lips right now. It's pretty and it's a pretty comfortable formula. I definitely need to use this more often. I also picked up 2 of their Seriously Satin lipsticks. The first one is in the shade Nectar, so it is right here. And then I also got the shade Taffy. So I actually don't really reach for these as much as I was hoping that I would. But I mean, the formula is fine. And these were like literally $3, I think. And then lastly, in that order, I picked up 2 of the Bite Size eyeshadow palettes. These were like all the rage at that time, April of last year. These were like going crazy. Everyone was going nuts over them. And I like them, but they're definitely not anything revolutionary or crazy to me. I ended up purchasing Rose Water. the shade right here like does not show up on my eye at all, and I'm very fair, so I don't understand that. And I also picked up truffles. I definitely like truffles more, but again, I don't know. I didn't lose my mind over these like everyone else did. And then the only other thing I have to talk about is the one other purchase I made in April of this year, and it has been the Sydney Grace and Mel Thompson Tiny Marvels collab. I just wanted this palette for a really, really long time, and it finally restocked. And it is just, it's stunning and it's beautiful and I love it. I've used it 2 times so far, and the Sydney Grace formula is bomb. So yeah, I purchased a lot of things though from the Sephora sale. So definitely make sure you check out that video. I'll have linked down below for other things that I purchased during this month, because obviously this was the only like other purchase I made, but I made a lot of purchases. Don't get me wrong. But that was it, you guys. Oh my gosh, I feel like I need to go literally like chug this Yeti full of water because I've just been like talking. Sorry if I was talking quickly. I try to talk a little faster in these videos because they just get so long because I just have so much makeup. I have a problem and I just buy too much makeup. So granted, this was years. It was like over years of makeup, like from back to 2016. But still, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. You are truly awesome and I love you. Please subscribe if you have not yet. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.